Communication of board. Sure. Okay, thank you. Okay.
How's Miss? Those had some games already, haven't they?
We just played tonight. I just go back to normal.
Okay. Oh, wow.
We're going down to play Bucks this weekend.
Is that a slow game?
You ready?
Okay.
I'm ready. As ready as you are. 7 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. So if we could stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank everyone for being here. So we have a quorum present, and everyone should have an agenda in front of them. And then as far as the agenda goes, we have a couple additions, if it's okay with the body here. Under resignations, Bill Meacham, baseball coach. And then for contracts, Cheyenne Garcia, how do you enunciate? Juarez, elementary teacher, and that would be for 2024 and 2025 school year already. And then one other suggested amendment, if we could move the huddle system on the agenda under business from the last, well, second to last item up to after our closed session, that would help Eric so he can get home to young kids. Other than that, no other suggested amendments, are there? No.
I'll move to approve with the amendments. I'll second.
Okay, so we have an amendment, or excuse me, we have a motion made by Chris, seconded by Nick to approve the agenda with the mentioned amendments. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And you should all have in front of you also the consent agenda, which consists of the minutes, the invoices, and the financial reports. And like always, hopefully you've had a chance to look at those. Anyone want to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion made by Nick, seconded by Mike to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So we will move into what's going well. Tracy, go ahead. You can get us kicked off.
Good evening. I want to report out on our book class that we did at the elementary. That's something new we did this year. With our community support, we were able to raise $13,495 for books. So every child in my building went home with at least 2 books, brand new books, and others went home with multiple. So that was a great success. And they had mentioned that the company actually had to have a meeting about our community because we raised so much more money than most people did. So that was really something to celebrate. And I also had Paula and Jessica come tonight to talk about preschool. And then Rachel and Tiffany to talk about our Facebook page.
Hi, I'm Paula Ulrich, and this is Jessica Gatchuk, and we are the preschool teachers out of the preschool, obviously. This was our 5th year, and we were due for NACE accreditation. It was good until May of 2024, but we went ahead, got all our stuff in, got it submitted, and our visit was September 18th. Yes, is that right? Yeah, I think it was Monday, September 18th. So a lady came from Delaware or Connecticut, one of those 2 places, came in, looked through all of our portfolios, lots of documentation in both. We had a program portfolio and a classroom portfolio, and then we had to wait very patiently for the decision, but we were accredited again, so we passed with flying colors, and we're good for another 5 years. So we will continue to do the reports annually, and then in 2029, we're due for another. Yeah, super exciting, woohoo!
Very good. Congratulations on that. Thank you both.
We're excited, because we both didn't know what we were doing. Full disclosure. We've never done it before, so we really did not know what we were doing.
First time for everything.
Yeah, so now we can do it a second time way easier.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Rachel Millman.
Hi, I'm Tiff Clausen.
Something fun or different for the students. This year we planned the Welcome Back Assembly, homecoming activities. We did an elementary pep rally. We did the Halloween parade through the high school, and we planned High Five Friday. And for the teachers, we've done like a tailgate potluck. And we do birthday shout outs every week. And last year we did Grandparents' Day, and we did Read Across America activities, and we partnered with businesses in town, and we made things for their storefronts and stuff. So with that, we started the Facebook page.
And so our big thing with the elementary Facebook page was we just wanted to start changing the narrative and try to get all of those awesome things that we're all doing out into the community so people can see it and share it. Every Saturday, I get the summaries from Facebook and how many times we've engaged with people, and we're into like the 2000s every Saturday. So that means that has turned out really, really well. It is called Pack Elementary, if anybody wants to follow it. Through the page, that was huge this year, was I'm off at the at the office in the elementary, and it was received really well. We were brought shirts upon shirts upon shirts upon shirts, and what was it, like at least 50 kids ended up getting a homecoming shirt, and I still see them today. And she made a whole bunch of them and donated, and so that was our engagement with that was really good.
And we were anticipating like 2 shirts, but it was really cool that people donated.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. One of the concerns about the Facebook page was how can we respond to like negative things or field those comments, but I get notifications through my watch. Rachel and I have been kind of watching. This is what we want to see. So we're constantly posting things. We're doing a Tuesday talk. So our goal was every Tuesday. That would have been a pretty big goal. But, so we are putting together videos of different things, and we push those out on Tuesdays. So Jill Hope, the guidance counselor, and then Nurse Ashley talked about the food pantry one Tuesday. Another couple of Tuesdays, the third grade did little ditties, and I mashed those together, and that was about their life cycles. Our librarian talked about the book fair before conferences. We also interviewed a whole bunch of kids and asked them if they were cheering for the Cyclones or the Hawkeyes, and we put all of that together. What else? Moving forward, Mr. Johnson's gonna talk about little dribblers. We have a really cute one coming up with all of the kids telling us their favorite lunches. So just getting pack out there, and I mean, my own husband is like, I didn't know you guys did all this. I'm like, yeah. So, just trying to do our own PR, me and Rachel. What questions? Oh, maybe you can ask questions?
No, we can't. Just thank you for your efforts. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a lot of followers in just a short amount of time. I'm impressed.
We've had
You know,
it.
anything to get a positive vibe out in the community is beneficial.
It's been received very well. And Aaron has kind of been watching and following the Facebook page, and I think getting some stuff from there.
Sometimes they're going rather than that. I forgot to put t-shirts in the paper. I meant to.
That's fine.
It was on my
Yep.
A lot of great things going on. What do you need? How can we help you take it further?
Share it, yeah. Share it. Tell people about it.
Thanks for making it easy and all the work you're doing. We can share it.
Yeah. It's pretty easy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks again. Tracy, I do have a question too. The 13,000, that's a lot of money in a,
Yes.
you know, again, a short amount of time. How,
No, that was like a week's time.
can you define how you made that possible or how the team made that possible? That's just impressive.
So it was really easy. The company structured it so that it was low burden for us. So they do all the work. So I had to have a faculty meeting and they presented a video to my staff. And then the teachers had to show 2 videos on day 1 and day 2. And then I had to push things out. Mr. Kramer helped me push things out on Facebook, prize winners and those kinds of things. And so it was really easy and really good to see new books for the kids. $130 just for the building to buy books and put some of those in our library. So it's a great way to add to our library as well.
Very good. Thank you all
Great job supporting us.
for everyone that made that happen. Sorry, Andrea. You
No,
can-
way to go,
you can
Mrs.
proceed.
Carlson in the elementary, yay. I'm happy to work with her. I brought along a special guest tonight, Eric Francis, is gonna talk to you a little bit about some student feedback that he's been.
All right, I believe some of this is in your binder there. I think Karen had that for you. What it is my data here, both high school, middle school, since we're a high school, middle school building. I went around kind of during their study hall time, student-wise as dean of students, to talk with students how, kind of 3 basic questions, how the school year's going, what would you change about school, and what are you excited about there? So I asked both middle school and high school this. This is a completely voluntary basis. I start each one of these with the fact that your name's not going to be shared with anyone besides me. It's just for me to check you off the list. I don't talk to the same kids over and over and over again and get the same answers. So I talked to as many as I could there throughout the study hall. Some kids in study hall, sometimes I didn't have time to match up this throughout the year with this. So I tried to include this as much as possible for this. The kids I didn't talk to, I sent out a Google form with these same 3 questions. Of that, about 20 to 25% responded to the Google form. A lot of it, what I found out is most kids don't check their emails, so they're see the Google form. So out of this here anyway, as you kind of see some of the data here, most of the students there, middle school, thought the year was going better than the high schoolers there, but still high school at 20% thought it was going good or great or better there. You know, some had not so good. A lot of that just dealt with, factors of the day. So a lot of this was spread out from, I started talking to students as early as September. A lot of them concluded up to a couple weeks ago here. So right around conference time. So depending on what a student is going through at that particular time is what's going through each. Student, adults, teacher is going to have different things on each different day. The high school one of the most exciting things that most of them had was graduating. A lot of them were ready to go into the next chapter throughout. But what I saw was a lot of the activities there from athletics, the fine arts, all those things throughout, and then a few classes out there. So the data side of the high school anyway, we have about 240 students in our high school. I got about 150 of them to agree or was able to meet with there. And then kind of that interesting aspect of that I thought of that 60%, 97 of those 150 students were in activities of some sort. So band, vocal, the musical, football, volleyball at the time, cross country. So we have, quite a few kids here anyway that are very active in what's going on. Some of those students are being very active in multiple things. The same with the middle school there. Just kind of looking at it, obviously the most common thing throughout is just, they want to start school later. So not something we can really change, but sleeping in is important for them. So that's kind of what it is of the dean of students position. That I was meeting with the students of all aspects there, and I do something similar like this with our athletes anyway as they finish up their stuff. So just a lot of information gathering is kind of what I'm doing. So that's it.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Francis. Joe, your turn. All right. Certain I'll miss a few things, but since our last meeting, there's really been a lot that's been happening. I want to just add a little bit to the accreditation piece that preschool staff were sharing with you. This is no small feat. NACCE is national accreditation. So to put this in perspective, there's roughly 744 preschools in the state of Iowa, give or take a few. I went through and did a quick count, all right? Of those, we are one of 74 that are nationally accredited. That is the gold standard. There is no standard that is more stringent than the NACCE accreditation standard. We're not required to do NACCE, but our staff has chosen to continue it. We started down the path of NACCE originally when we had the Shared Visions Grant, because as a part of the Shared Visions Grant, you did have the requirement of NACCE accreditation. But since that has been restructured in such a way so that small schools don't score very high on the Shared Visions grants, most small schools have lost it, including PAC. But for us to get that national accreditation is really a compliment to our instructors as well as our students and to the community for supporting a really high quality preschool program. In this area, I believe there's really only one other that has NACCE accreditation. So when you think statewide 74, that's pretty significant. Wanted to update you also, our transportant cameras have been installed. We're fine tuning and continuing our training with those. But since installing those, we have already had, unfortunately, our first vehicle run a stop arm. And because of those cameras, we had a description of the vehicle. Law enforcement came in. They were able to pinpoint that vehicle, and I believe the person ended up with 3 or more tickets out of it, including no license, no insurance, in addition to running the stop arm. So without that camera, it would have been much more difficult, but the imaging is good enough. They were able to take that and run with it. Saw it again in the same community, and were able to follow up and get closure. Hopefully that helps with prevention.
I certainly hope so. You know, we don't want anyone running stop arms because it certainly puts students at risk. But when it happens, we certainly want to be able to send the message. You need to stop for our kids. Their safety is number one. And the system at least has accomplished what we needed it to do initially, and that was give us that capability. It's just very high quality, both the front and the back side. So as they're approaching the stop arm, you've got them on front side and on the back side of the vehicle going past. It's pretty impressive. I also want to acknowledge a number of groups. Our crossing lights are installed now. So a special thank you to our police chief, Alex Liu, Pocahontas City Council, the school board, and the Pocahontas Foundation, because all of you helped make this possible. But we now are operational, up and running on both highways 3 and 4 now. Also want to talk a little bit about football team making the playoffs. That's no small feat either, and we're very happy for those, both students and coaches and parents. Our Veterans Day program last week also support them, but they're doing it for our kids. So I just want to take that moment to thank them as well. I'd also like to acknowledge the fact that we had a full plate running for school board. And while we're waiting for the finalized results, which will take a little bit longer yet, but I'd like to congratulate Tony Halligan, Sarah Boyson, Cherie Johnson, and Jeff Kearns for their successful bid at running for school board. So thank you very much to each of you. Students of this district greatly appreciate your willingness to donate time for what's best for kids. So thank you.
Thank you, Joe. So we will move into public communication with the board. And I have first on my list, Amanda Miller, to speak to us about snow days.
Good evening, President, Vice President, and to our public. I'm wondering if you have ever considered an automatic transfer to remote instruction in the event of inclement weather as an alternate to snow days. I would like to see this and encourage this because last year, those snow days really hurt us in the end. We had to make up numerous snow days last year, so that affects not only parents, but teachers and students as well. And so I'm hoping it's something that you take up for consideration later. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Next, we have Cindy Lutz to talk about the Pomeroy school buildings.
Hi, I'm Cindy, and I want to give an update about the Pomeroy School building. Steve Wilkie Shapiro of Sequel Architecture and Mitch Galuzzi of Stellenau, Iowa, both suggested that we create a request for proposal. Steve sent me 2 requests for proposal samples, so I'm currently working to create this for the Pomeroy School. Mitch said he'd post the request for proposal on a network he has created, and Steve said he'd recommend some sites for posting it as well. I talked to Peter Joy, an architect from Keokuk, last week. He said he'd like to see our request for proposal, plus the blueprints and any pictures we may have, and hopefully he can see that data before January 1st. Now I'd like to speak to the asbestos removal. I believe the data report, in the data report, asbestos was found in about 35% of the samples that were taken. I hope you can answer these questions in your dialogue later this evening. When asbestos is found in a sample, this is my #1 question. What is the percent of asbestos content in that sample that it must be removed? #2, if asbestos is found in floor tile, which it often is, must it be removed or can it be covered up with a different type of flooring? I think there may be asbestos tile under the carpet in the elementary wing of the school, and was the tile under carpet tested? If asbestos is in window caulking and the caulking is removed, the windows can easily fall out in the wind, break, and then rain and snow would quickly destroy the building's interior, which has been protected so far. To prevent windows from falling out and the glass breaking, is it possible to re-caulk them so they remain intact if that caulking is removed? And 4th, the gym is currently being used. Can a barrier be put up so asbestos removal in other areas won't interfere with gym use? I hope you can answer these questions later, and I'm going to give you one of my copies so that you have a copy of the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank
And that's the list of them, right, Karen? Thank you. So next, we have business, and first item on business is to go into closed session to discuss strategies where litigation is imminent. So we will need a motion to go into closed session.
Second that.
Tony.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
I assume we're going to the library?
Yep, well, actually, we're gonna use a classroom this time.
Okay.
We shall be back.
I'd have to look at there were a couple students that tried it last year, they don't probably say that. And I understand that. There's 3 hours in the classroom. Right. Yes. have a second advice that we have.
Oh, no.
I was driving through Congress the other day, and I said, well, I really read the numbers, but it's not a huge number. What is it kind of very and that's what matters there. They do think the council will have any interest in that. Yeah, I should do that. I talked very about it, and we just said,
Okay, and you, it's in December again, so I would, yeah, so I thought I'm getting on the December agenda. Okay, yeah, I know you, I'm just curious, like, nobody's gonna. I know that you can sort of about this issue that when start here. Yeah, I know. So I just want to. That could be, yeah. You know, and that is the regret. So when I started, I have our rest still, and my boss, when we started, we did sample families to, and we journal territories. But she's, I think, for years, good to do anything, and I never heard of Pocahontas County because we're already, like, Pocahontas County people can't come together. So we're doing a sample mailing conference, see if anybody's interested. So we just, what we do is that we all copy. Yes, and I. Yeah. So, yeah, and I just. Yeah, and yes, and we looked at that and I'm like, we could run something, quite that long every week, but we could run stuff, we do run stuff. It was, right, we just already have a bunch of other stuff that runs. So we're all doing that stuff around. It's not having to cover stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I've been reading your art. Oh, cool. So, yeah. I was gonna get interested to see how you want to submit us as well. Every other week, as soon as we found out. Yes. Yeah. I will call Kara. Yes. And just see, we just kind of talk. Maybe you're whatever more interested. Yeah. Maybe not. I'll do something. You're perfect. But that's first to ask. They let yeah, and I don't think that I don't know the numbers, I don't have any devices, I don't keep track of what things cost. You know, so I don't know, I don't know. Figure that out. Yeah, maybe I'm just saying. It's not gonna do this. It's not cheap. Things that make it hard to
They're just kind of press releases. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've read it before, and Sandy and I started talking about mom's writing and everything, and so we went, oh, so we're gonna get their things, so we went, and we're like, other than, so for the 2 weeks that we looked at, he did have there's election code on there, but I did not cover comprehensive. It was content, city council compromise, because election code has no Pocahontas County races. But other than that, a lot of the stuff that he had in there was also stuff that they were able to, like, Halloween, trick or treat times, like, we include fundraiser for people. We do, fire departments, we do fire department, we do. So it's like, maybe we can, maybe people would want to read it. That's kind of what we're hoping, that they might like that more. It's, I think it's 10% of the addresses and so it's not, it's like 33 out of 300 addresses. Yeah, me too. But I must just personally know everybody in Hillsborough because I'm bigger. Maybe that's okay. I don't know. But yeah, it was longer than I thought, but I think it's 35. Okay, I think it would be $37.50 a year because it's across the county now. It's 35 in the county, but it is, yeah. I think they're like 29. Okay. Right, you really should. Yeah. Yeah. They have a house that is 20 something. Okay, maybe, yeah. Yeah. It is a lot more. I mean, it's also twice the pictures. Yeah. But I mean, that doesn't necessarily. Well, I know, like, lots of people. I was, like I said, I was too when I had a but that's one of the reasons I was do this down and see if we can do some more people. Yeah, there is some of that. Yeah, I don't know that we count those stacks like that. But definitely people do. I do, yes. I have passed it in my case. I don't know. I have passed it in my case. I don't know. You don't. Oh. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's typical. Oh my God, that is, I do not like it. But anyway, I get up when I laugh, and I really laugh. Well, you're kind of doing food. Yeah, we had a really funny, so the gas station is over the summer, and even the strike was like, we don't want any more newspapers, and they stopped carrying newspapers, period. No
like pictures, our picture, and we ended up selling the pilot cell at City Hall. Months. We pick up the one that we don't sell, so not the free advertising, but this one. He's up. Like maybe 1 or 2 that he's kind of hard to sell. 2 weeks ago, Doug was down at state volleyball. So we're going to have to share about the City Hall. Administrator emailed she's like, you guys forget to come by? We had some people ask. And I was like, and because like, no one's buying it, but they noticed enough that it's not there. So it's kind of like that. Yeah, no, the library's hey, so they know there's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That was good. Yeah, perfect. Well, so you just tell Sarah. Yeah, I will. Get on. Yeah. If you would have said, hey, you know, I don't represent teachers at all, oh, I'm not gonna do that, but yeah. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Okay, that's fine. Their job to say yes or no, but I'm just talking like city clerk may have. Yeah. I can hear you. Yeah. She won't be already. It was just, it was a while, yeah, I had to worry about it. But it doesn't have to Give me really happy results. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't think there's any way for me to find out. Unless I just know. I might ask them now, you've got me curious. I might ask them. No, I don't. I know, they might tell you, yeah. I'm sure they would. And I got to go last. I got to do it. Yeah, over to school. Yeah. Sure. But the video, like she had like caption so then the caption she doesn't like English.
Yeah, she's like a little, oh my gosh, my mom has one, say no more. My mom. And maybe, housing. I think there are 2 years. Yeah. And then. One home is renovated right now. One
Move to come out of closed session, Paul.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion made by Mike, seconded by Chris to come out of closed session.
Yes.
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 So we will move into the second to the last bullet under business, where we're gonna discuss / approve the huddle system. So Eric, you're welcome to begin your presentation.
We had found the NFHS contract. We have the fixed lot systems that are currently in place from November of.
Eric, why don't you just grab the mic?
I forget it's there.
Is this part of our packet then, Joe? If so, is it page 23?
Page 40, and then again, also on page 34.
Okay.
So 34 will give you the information on the existing system that is in place, which is Pixelat. And page 40 would be the proposal for the new system.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so looking at system itself that we have here, I'm trying to pull up an email. All right. The huddle proposal that was sent from Brett Kramer with Huddle out of Omaha. There's different aspects out here. So what we have currently for our programs, we have football, boys basketball, girls basketball, volleyball, and our trendsetters utilize the huddle accounts. So essentially what our huddle is right now is the silver package, about 49 for each program, gives us tape to scout more or less. We record our games, we go over it, we do stats, go over that information, and it allows us to collect the tapes from, say, Humboldt or whoever else we're playing that coming week. We can collect that information all in this 549 here. Currently, the Booster Club have been paying this 549 silver package for many of our programs already. And I've talked with Booster Club, they agreed to pay half of kind of where we're at with this information there. And to, I guess, talk about it, currently with all of our packages we have under boys basketball has an assist game package, is what it calls for, is $900, where they break down the film for each of the different things. Others will tend to do this out by themselves, watch the extra hours of tape, but they will take someone, they have a 24-hour package that they'll do out of this, where they will break it down and say, this particular play, they ran it left, got 3 yards, or whatever it is for football. Where boys basketball has that, and they will break down those packages for you. So then, this total package that we have right now currently is about $4,000, just short of that, what we have. The package that is the AD package price here for varsity football and everything in between. And ball and everything in between. And the package price, everything would need to include indoor cameras, outdoor cameras, automatic exchange. Right now, we have 5 conference schools in Emmitsburg, Manson, West Bend, Alpha, and SAC that already have this and have been utilizing it throughout the football and volleyball season. So they would have, to compare this with our NFHS Pixelot system, there's either a subscription or there's not. That's up to us as a school district whether or not we provide that aspect here. Through the NFHS, I don't know that number off the top of my head of how much that costs, but there's a subscription per month or per season that you want to do from there. What they told me is this would be completely autonomous with what we want to charge for that. It could be a per game, it could be a per season, or it could be per whichever we decided to do out of that. But they would do 2 cameras, you could do 2 indoor like we currently have in our elementary gym and our high school gym. You could do an outdoor one, which would go out by football and track, or in here, or whatever we decide to do, we have that choice. And then it would add in the additional things, all this. So retail price with all this stuff is like $20,000 plus. They have an 80 package would come down to this. The hiccup that we came up with the NFHS stuff, we're still in a contract for 2 more years. So that is through, I think that's the other one that Mr. Kramer had just mentioned. That is $2,500 per unit to cancel early and go through some of that information. If we chose to go that route. Just trying to go through and give you the information as much or as little or whatever you guys need here. I'll answer questions, I guess. But right now, what I was given from Brent Kramer as 2 weeks ago, since we're partly through the year, he gave us a number of $5,206, some odd cents there. That would be covered from now till July 31st. And then from then on, it'd be $8,000 per year. When the Booster Club said they would cover half, the general activity fund covered the other half for all of our programs to use and utilize going forward. So, you guys have questions, or I guess I'm trying to.
Couple of questions.
Yeah.
So the subscription value, if you switch to the Huddle subscription and somebody wanted to watch the game online from home, that fee would now come to the school, whereas under the current system, we get no funds from that. Is that accurate?
Correct. So the school would be able to charge what it is from there. Now, the issue that we have right now with the NFHS system is we're in a no compete clause with anything in our gym. So volleyball, wrestling, basketball at both levels, we can't do anything with right now if we switch to Huddle.
Even if we pay the buyout in that
If we
contract?
pay the buyout, then we're good.
Yep.
Yeah, but if we wanted to switch and not pay the buyout, then we would be kind of handicapped for that, where we'd have access to all of our outdoor, playing baseball, softball, cross-country, golf, whatever.
Yeah, do you have any sort of online view numbers today? I mean, I know we pay a subscription at home to watch some of this stuff remotely, so other people are already paying it as well. Do you know how many subscribers there are so that we could get a rough estimate of the dollar generation that could come from that?
I reached out to NHS, I haven't received no feedback from them. I pulled up our stuff from volleyball, which is the only thing that I had to go off right now. We had a total of 27 viewers in volleyball, all volleyball season. 19 of them came from the Newell Fonda game alone. So I assumed Newell Fonda had a bunch of people who could make it. I'm just assuming they didn't give me exact people, I just had this number of people view the game. So.
The cancellation of $2,500 per unit, how many units do we have?
We got 2.
So Eric, in summary, what would be the advantage of Huddle over the Pixelot system that we have right now?
The Pixelot systems itself, they're just two cameras that are attached to the walls in both our gyms. The Huddle aspect of it allows us to use our iPads. We have a bunch of iPads. Bill has some. I have some in our office that wrestling uses, basketball uses as well. But they would have an app that allows us to take those iPads to, say, cross country, and we want to do it at the finish line. So we can put something up there by the clubhouse, use this app to stream it, and basically our viewership that would be able to go out to cross country. You could hop online and say, watch the finish line. Like right now, cross country wise, we run down whole 9 fairway. I would have that streaming for that aspect there. So any of our outdoor stuff, golf, we could hit golf holes or anything out there, baseball games, softball games, all these other aspects that aren't currently being hit by our subscription aspect of things.
So does it do anything for football? Would it improve football, or football's already kind of basically covered with something similar under the Pixelot?
We don't have a Pixelot camera out there.
We do not.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so volleyball, wrestling, and basketball is the only thing that we have in this gym.
Okay.
Middle school basketball, volleyball in that gym.
So it would greatly expand our capabilities
Yeah.
to broadcast
Right.
with all the outdoor activities.
Does it also give football coaches access to film that they don't have today?
What do you mean by that?
Well, both our own game film and where you were mentioning the other people who are in that same Huddle program where we would have access to their film the week in advance. Do we have that today?
Yeah, we do have that. With football, all of these schools participate in the program where they share their films and stuff already. They're required by the state to share them, I think it's Saturday morning with the other team. So they would have all that, where it would be on our end. So looking at, so we play East Sac County on a Friday night, our stuff goes to their coach the next day. But ours wouldn't have to sit down and go through necessarily right out there playing, or we ran to the right side this time and marked out saying this is what it was. Some teams have taken it a step further, like Western Christian, they have satellite cameras that you may have seen at their home run. They can get more money. I'm not saying to do that right now, but down the road, if they chose to do so, they can get those and get iPads on the sidelines and get that real-time data saying, hey, every time they run, they set up this way, they do this, or they do that from there. But right now, anyway, the subscriptions are just basically get the film, and then the coaches are kind of up to themselves anyway to write it out to. Just get the stats and everything and everything from that. So what that would do anyway, that assist package goes into every program that would have there. So say our middle school football wanted to have one, that would give that particular account, they would be able to have that access there as well.
The other question I have was just around the over-encompassing athletic department. Is this the subscription that all of your different coaches want? And I do know that, just throwing it out, that wrestling is looking at Mat Pro through the Booster Club recently. How does that all fit together? Is this an overall plan that you won't be needing to come back in 6 months and say, hey, somebody needs something different?
Right. Wrestling, with talking to Tony Johnson about it, they have what's called track wrestling for the state, that the state requires that usage of that, and then Mat Pro works kind of hand in hand with that. So Huddle, what they've told me anyway, is they're trying to crack into that market again. They kind of lost them because Huddle created because of football, and then they have since expanded into basketball and volleyball and others there. They talked about getting into the grounds of baseball and softball here moving forward, but haven't gotten there yet. Wrestling would probably be the only one on the outside here, but the other programs would be the ones to go, and the volleyball's used in basketball. Baseball and softball, I talked with a few of the coaches there where they talked about using and utilizing, at least from the mechanics standpoint, practice-wise. Not too many teams film their games for baseball and softball, but from an internal practice perspective, they can utilize it from there. They were more interested in the software production of it, so to stream their games is where they're like, oh, we get more people to view our games and get more interest is where they were looking at it.
Do we think the viewership would go up? I mean, what was it? Volleyball had 8 people watch all season?
Right, there wasn't a lot there. And I don't know what the cost is per subscription for MHS right now. We would be able to control that aspect of viewership if you wanted to do that, we could do it. I've been floating ideas. I've had a few coaches reach out to me about that as well. Like including that in our family passes that we have. So we are, on the top of my head, I think $150 for a family pass, and we're gonna include your subscription fee into this. So you can't make the game because you are in the field or something like that. I can watch the football game, the volleyball game that particular night with no extra or added cost from it from there. But something like that, I can watch the football game, the volleyball game that particular night with no extra or added cost from it from there. But
So if I'm taking this correctly, your recommendation is to do this, what we're presented here on page 40, and the total cost would be $5,206, but the school would be responsible for the $2,603 for our half?
yes, this would be for the first year. This is up to July 31st. We've missed about a quarter of the year right now is what they said. Then from August 1st, then when the package price is $8,000. After that, the booster clubs, they would cover half, and the school activity fund would cover the other half proposal wise.
So then it'd be $4,000
Yeah.
per year. Now, is your recommendation to cancel the Pixel-Lot or?
Yes and no. I mean, I would say no. I don't want to spend that extra money to do that. I see the benefits for our outdoor programs to get some of this extra viewership, notoriety there. From a spending standpoint, yeah, I don't see why we should cancel those, but right now the viewership is down. They're trying to expose that market, therefore getting more viewers that way then, but yes, but I see that from the budget standpoint, not to cancel that aspect. So what would happen in that aspect is we would not be able to film our home games through Huddle. So there, it'd still be through the Pixel-Lot, so they would still have their system up and going through November 2025. But Huddle would be able to be used and utilized yet through all the video library, through games and scouting and all that stuff there, plus our outdoor football, track, baseball, softball, all those other outdoor events would be able to be utilized through the subscription.
In the road, indoor games,
The indoor games still have to go through the Pixel-Lot.
the road ones too?
The road ones, no. So
Okay.
the road ones would go to Emmitsburg or whoever it is.
Okay,
whatever they have.
all right, okay.
It doesn't cost us anything till November 2025, but what it stops us from doing is switching those indoor venues to the other on-stream service that we could potentially make income from.
Right, after that non-compete clause in the contract there. So we're in touch on that aspect where we can't switch them to the Huddle stuff, but we'd be able to utilize, others that we use. It's just the Huddle stuff, like say through Emmitsburg, you couldn't make a football game this year, you could watch it through Huddle on their app. So.
Any other questions for Eric? No, thank you, Eric. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Is anyone comfortable in making a motion?
I would make a motion to accept and fund the half of the Huddle subscription for $2603.50 and keep the Pixelot contract for now through 2025. We can freely evaluate that later.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Tony, seconded by Chris to take on the huddle system for the cost as mentioned, and then continue with the Pixelot system until the time that that does expire. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So next, we will move into the bus inspection report from Mr. Jeff Halder.
So on November 1st, we had our biannual, I guess they come twice a year, every semester to inspect buses, cars, vans. We did 16 buses, 11 cars and vans. Pretty good again this year. Had some, it always seems like the week before bus inspection is when things start to happen. We had one bus that some kid ripped the emergency exit sticker off the window. Didn't catch it, but we replaced it. It was all passed when we were done. I'd like to thank the drivers, take care of their buses, Wayne and Tyler for helping in the shop, to keep everything up and running. And part of the transport program, in case people wonder how many miles we put on, since November 1st, we have put 6,700 miles on our buses. It adds up in a hurry.
Yes, it does.
So, and I think, Mr. Kramer, did you send out the report sheets with the packet?
Starts on page 15 of your packet.
And that is done by a state Department of Ed inspector, and usually we have 2 or 3 state troopers come through and go through all the vehicles.
How many main routes are there? You've told us this before.
I think we're running 8 main routes.
Okay.
There's some buses on there from inspection to inspection. The only mileage they get is pulled out, drove up to Pokey for inspection, and then go back away after inspection.
So Jeff, did you get what you wanted out of this as far as improving the routes, getting the automated reports, simplifying the amount of time that it took you for that? Are you seeing the advantages from?
I'm working on the routes now, getting them done. I think I've got 1 left, 2 left to put in. And then we'll start adding the kids to it. As far as the reports, we haven't got to that part in our training as far as entering in our spreadsheets to what we want done. But just the cameras are really good pictures, and when the sheriff's department come and looked at our video of the run, they were very, very impressed with what we had for pictures on the bus.
So the cameras, the interactions with something happened on the bus, that part's going great. Some of the things that are for you personally aren't in place yet.
We haven't got about, I mean, it'll probably be, we meet once a week with transport there, and then they give us stuff that we do prior to that week to get ready for the next week. So it's gonna be a gradual deal, and they haven't got to, it might be closer to the end of the year before the parent app even comes out, because he said until you get stuff in place, he said they don't start it, cause more problems, and it's, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. You can go in there and go through a lot of things. I'm sure it'll do a lot more once we figure out through our training what we can come up with.
Happy with it so far?
Yeah.
From this report, Jeff, how can you identify which one is a bus versus a van?
On their report, it's all by vehicle number.
Okay.
Or by the, 21, 28, 23, 27, 13, 15, 14 are all buses. 3-digit vehicles are cars and vans.
Okay.
So then we have 30 days to fix all of what they found then?
Yeah, they're all fixed and,
They are. Good deal.
yeah, most of them were done that day.
So fairly minor items, if majority of them were fixed.
Yeah, some of them have been things, I mean, there's one bus, I think bus one, our wheelchair bus. It's got two lights above the ramp, the lift. One of them's been off for 3 or 4 years. They've never wrote us up until this year. So it's been replaced.
Okay.
And some of them, like bus 15, they make a note, DOT requires, on the LED lights, you gotta count the diodes. We're allowed up to 25% of the diodes being out. If they go over 25%.
Was that
we have
just
to
a
change the
replacement then, Jeff?
What's that?
Ground issue.
What's that?
Was it replacement for the fixture, was it just replacement? Or did you have a ground issue on it?
On the wheelchair lift?
No, on your diode.
Oh, no, we gotta replace them. They burn out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. But overall, the inspection went well.
Do we do anything with the inspection report, Joe, or do we just for information?
This is really for your information. As corrections are done, then Mr. Halder enters into the state system, basically showing that 30-day corrections have been addressed. So that ultimately certificates are then issued.
Each 6 months, we get a sticker to put in the windshield. So we have it every semester. I guess they do it every semester, and then I have to fill out the paperwork that says it was corrected, and then they email me the sticker to put on the seal, to put on the windshield.
The seal of approval.
Yep.
Any other questions for Jeff?
In case they got questions on the next, for the obsolete equipment out of the bus barn, maybe, rather than have you walk all the way back and forth.
Trying to save him some steps.
I think you get the next couple maybe.
Yeah.
So the next item is to discuss / approve disposal of obsolete equipment, supplies from bus barn at auction. And can't necessarily tell, but is that part of?
There's really not much in your packet. This is a lot of miscellaneous items. They've been going through the bus barn, trying to clean house. We stockpiled, stacked lots of stuff out there as a holding place. They've been working this year trying to clean that up. So they literally have 4 or 5 pallets of miscellaneous items, ranging from old light fixtures. I'm trying to remember what else was out.
Old floor tile.
Old floor tiles, ceramic tiles, just from prior construction work that has been done, that are no longer part of the current buildings. They're old. There's some very dated speakers out there as well. It's just a lot of obsolete things, that with your permission, we'd kind of like to clean house, put it on the auction, and see if we can find a new home versus our bus barn.
There's probably, I don't know, 50 or 75 old folding chairs that the rubbers aren't on the bottoms of them anymore. It just, they don't get used. It's time to get rid of them.
I'll move to approve the sale of obsolete equipment from the bus barn.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Chris, seconded by Jolene to approve the auctioning of obsolete equipment out at the bus barn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is to discuss / approve the insurance settlement for the bus that was damaged in the accident. Was that over a month ago or just at a month?
Just right, yeah, a little.
And that looks like it's on page 18 of our packet. And Jeff, I'll kind of let you, or Joe, or whoever can, explain what we're looking at.
So on page 18, you've got two options from the insurance company. Shows you the dealer market value of $9,188 for that bus. Shows a transfer cost for the tag fees, transfer fees, minus your deductible. Now you're down to $8,213 as a net settlement for that. And the bus then goes back to EMC for salvage sale. Under the second half of that page, the vehicle owner, in this case, the school district, could retain the bus for salvage purposes. We're not recommending that one, as in we have only one other bus of that same make and model, and it also is probably next on the list for replacement. So as a result, it doesn't have significant value for us. Certainly not a couple $1,000s worth of value.
And it's a 12-year-old bus. Looks like.
Yeah, it's a 2010.
11, it looks like.
11.
Did we have the transport system on that?
No,
No,
That
this
was
happened
prior
prior to installation. If we had had a camera system on that bus, we would be allowed to remove that
That's
as a
what
part of this process.
I
yeah,
was reading, we couldn't remove anything from it.
Yep,
when we talked to him, he said, you know, if we need anything off it, as long as we replace it, you know, if we want to take some seats out, replace it with our other bus, we can take our old seats out, put them in there.
as long as it's like,
As long as we don't strip the bus and send it to them.
Right.
We can take out what we need.
So are we installing that transport tent that was supposed to be put on there on another bus?
Yeah, they're all installed already.
They all are? Okay.
so our recommendation is to take the salvage value, first half of that offer, and then start cleaning. We'll keep looking for a replacement bus.
So they then cut us a check for the $69.38.
No, the top of it, 8,213.
Okay.
If we kept it,
Oh,
69.
that would be option 2, I'm sorry.
I'll move to approve accepting the first offer of $8,213 and turning over the bus to MC.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have made by Chris, seconded by Mike to approve the option of $8,213 for the net settlement on the bus. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item on our, under business, thank you, Jeff, is to discuss / approve sale of decommissioned Chromebooks to the public. And that is on
Page 19.
page 19 of our packet. And is Phil here
He
to,
is not able to be here this evening. So on page 19, what Phil has shared with the board is utilizing the same suggested price as the last time that you turned these machines over, basically, for the Chromebook. So that was $40 the last time we made these for public sale. The additional piece to this request that he's asking you for is we've been sitting on 10 Acer Veriton all-in-one PC units. So he's now gone through all of those, stripped everything down, basically, wiped everything so that there's no district data left, back to new condition, basically, starting condition. And he's recommending a sale price of those of $200. So it's really the additional piece of that. Otherwise, it's a mirror of what you would have approved the last time we were disposing of old Chromebooks. These are just units that we have already updated. It just took them a little bit longer to wipe these and get these in a position where they could be disposed of publicly.
Do you need this in separate motions or all in one?
You can do those two as, you can do it either way, I guess.
One. All right, I'll move to approve selling the Chromebooks for $40 and the all-in-one PCs for $200.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion made by Chris, seconded by Tony to approve the sale of the extra unused Chromebooks for $40 a piece and the all-in-one PCs for $200 a piece. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. So that was the two items on our agenda. Next item, to discuss / approve board policy 701.5 and 701.5R1, and you wanted to table
We
that?
want to table this one. There's another set of policies also. So the 701.5 is an older policy. There's also another one under, I believe it's 710-ish in the packets. But we also want to compare that back to what has been being used for the automated letters and roll that all in together, basically. What we've discovered in going through this is we do have a number of delinquent lunch accounts. And that number has continued to grow to a substantial amount, to the point where we need to get this back under control. The old policy talked about it by student, but our system cannot provide our end users with a per student value in terms of what they're in debt. It is always done as a family total. So our existing one needs to be reworked. The system cannot provide us the information that the policy says. So there is a misalignment here in terms of what our policy says and what the system is now able to perform. And we've had to do some tweaking within the system because our nutrition software was updated going into this school year. So we're now in the process of trying to catch up to that, but it is going to require some recommended changes for you, just so that we can be current and actually do what our policy says, because right now, we don't have the ability to do it.
And you're not fully ready for that until.
We would like a little
possibly
bit
the
more
next-
time to work on that one.
Okay.
I was hoping to get to that point, but
New board, you guys will look at that. Good luck. Next item on the agenda, discuss / approve purchase of Boss plow blade for $10,835, and that is on page 22 of the packet. And Joe or Jeff, whoever wants to, is there anything to present other than, we already have a Boss, I'm assuming is the brand that we are currently using that's lasted its life?
This one is, we think, in 2006. That's the same year. First pickup, that it was moved a lot of snow.
Has our mechanic taken a look at it and seen if there's a hydraulic issue?
It's electronic issue, it's a controller issue. It's, they changed how the controllers were set and mounted on them over the years. This is one of the first ones. But no, we have not looked into it. It's, I mean, the pins are wore and shot. They had a tough time getting it back on the truck today, just because it's just wore out.
Do we know what year that one is?
We're assuming it's 2006.
But the one we're proposing is in much better condition?
It's the one we're getting, the brand new one.
this would
Oh,
be,
okay.
this would be for new.
Okay,
So you're replacing
I
a
was-
roughly 2006 era plow.
I misunderstood. I thought the replacement was
The
06.
mounts and everything.
Yeah, that's mounted, that's installed and everything. And then the old one we take to the sale and sell it.
So we haven't looked at it or anything to see what the issues are?
It is, the pins are so wore out on it,
Or can pins be replaced?
I have no idea.
I guess that if it costs a couple $100 to replace pins and maybe a few hours to figure out why that's raising and lowering so slow, it might be worth the time and effort to do that.
Okay.
That's my opinion, might not be the opinion of the board. I think we better look at that first before we buy a new one. That's my opinion.
Kind of depends on the life expectancy. It's a 17-year-old machine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true, it could be a 25-year-old machine too. Something to look at.
Is there somebody locally who does repair plow blades who could give us an estimate on that, the machine shop or anything like that do it currently?
I don't know, machine shop, highway trucking equipment is the dealer for them.
We could get an estimate feedback from them. I mean, a plow itself, pretty structurally sound as long as you do replace the hydraulics and everything else, but 16, 17 years, I also get that.
You know, what dollar amount do you draw the line? You spend $3,000 on a $2,000 blade.
And I'd
Just to
like
get
to
an
know the number.
estimate, yeah.
Yeah, if we get an estimate from them and then make that choice.
How good, or how long is this price good? I assume it's,
Says 12/23.
30 days.
okay. So it's good. The next board meeting is what, the 11th?
So it's not gonna take you to the next board meeting. We'd have to get a new estimate.
You should probably, if you would call and ask them to, if they'd be willing to extend this quote date past our next board
Yeah,
meeting
until the first.
and then get us a
Okay.
quote from them.
I'm assuming they would do that, hopefully.
Mayor Lopes also brought up, as questions that she had. So Wednesday at 11 o'clock is the deadline for the bids for the abatement of the asbestos. It is not, to make it very clear, a 100% abatement of the asbestos in that Pomeroy building. We had it pared back so as not to disrupt walls, anything in the walls, the caulk in the windows, or the overhangs outside of the entrances, so that structurally, all options are still on the table. It does remove the bulk of the asbestos found within that facility. All right, so, but it will not leave a 100% abatement. That would have to be cored and compromise also the integrity in order to even make that determination. So this will give you everything that is easily up or abated. So you'd have both things going on. This takes care of the majority. To answer the question of what is considered asbestos containing, anything that contains more than 1% asbestos is considered to be a hot item that has to be abated. Now, 1% is still very low, but anything 1% or above is considered hot and requires abatement. Anything under 1% is considered to be, quote, non-asbestos, even though there are small quantities of it present. The floor tile in the building is included for removal to take it back down to clean concrete on the inside. So that is the removal of the interior carpeting and taking that down. Any projected use of that building, I doubt very much is going to include reuse or continued use of the old carpeting found within that facility. So this again takes that piece out. Kind of address the window caulking, that would not be included in this for the very reason that the mayor pointed out, and that is you would have an integrity and a seal situation from a weather point of view. So that would not be included in this process. Those determinations and that abatement would be done once a final decision is made. In terms of the future of that building. That asbestos wrap, while the pipes are sitting at 180 or so degrees, right? So the system is going to have to be down temporarily. That happens, it's all really going to be dependent upon what our outside temperatures are. We'll have the ability to provide heat, but we may not have as much control over that in this process. I am anticipating at this point, as I've already shared with the board, we had to update one of the controllers in order to continue that boiler functioning. I know there was the discussion of not putting money into it, but I have to have heat in order to do abatement. So it really was a necessity that really wasn't an optional piece to deal with. Once we get that part taken care of, we'll have a much better idea what the climate, what the weather is during that period of time as to whether or not it's really going to impact us in terms of use of the facility. But they believe they can isolate to the extent possible with going to control some entry in and out so that we're not getting into areas. Until we get down that path a little bit further, I can't guarantee anything because I don't have enough information for that. And I don't want to mislead people. So we're going to do everything in our power to try to keep that as a usable space for as long as possible during this process. I can't predict what we don't know. Obviously, if we ended up with minus 15, minus 20 degrees sub-zero temperatures like we had a year ago, that's going to be problematic if we've got to take the system down during the days in order to allow them to be able to work on the system. We're just going to have to see. We'll do everything we can so that we can try to accommodate that use. But the intent here is to remove what we can without compromising the integrity of the building or potential future decisions this time. With that said, it does mean we're going to end up being another transport load, probably, if we're looking at trying to keep the building heated through December into the first part of January, potentially, depending upon what surprises might arise during this process. So
And at this point, we don't know when they would do the abatement, right? Because we haven't chosen a company.
Correct, we've not selected. So the next step here will be to look at scheduling a one-item special meeting so that we can present to you those bids once we have them. I would like to propose Monday night, if that works for the board, for a very short meeting, so that we can make a decision that allows then your contractor who's assisting us here to verify bids, get the paperwork going, and get on a schedule for that process. The intent here being so that they could begin the first part of December and begin that process. They're estimating roughly 30 days is their best guess in terms of how much time that will take. Leading up to that December process, we're going to need to find a day here to move some items, which is going to lead into that next agenda item here. Because we've got some larger items in the kitchen, those appliances which are not usable need to be relocated. I'm proposing to you down that line as well, especially if we're just moving some desks, tables, obsolete educational materials or items that have been stored, such as in the elementary wing. Right now, we've got the west side of those rooms basically empty, but guess what? There's no asbestos tile under the west side of that building. Guess what? There's no asbestos tile under the west side of that building. It's all on the east side of that wing, which happens to be where all the stuff was put in storage. All right, so now we have to move things from the east across the hall to the west. But there's some old desks and things that are not going to fit into the future. And my thought is, under that next agenda item, with your permission, if we can either move the items that are worth taking to an auction, do so. Items that are obsolete, if we can get someone to come in and salvage and haul them out so we don't have to pay someone to haul them out. I believe that is fiscally in the best response for the district from a cost perspective.
So first off, you're recommending possibly Monday as a special board meeting in the evening around?
If that would work for the board to go over and review the bids that have been received and hopefully select a bidder. We have the option to decline all bids, but hopefully there is one in there that,
Does anyone have a conflict with that you can think of?
Next Monday.
Right, Monday at 5 o'clock.
or whatever time. You tell what works for you, but
I'd like to just talk about the gymnasium being used.
Well, let's decide on this special meeting.
Well, I'd like to talk about this, which may impact that.
The choosing of an abatement
Yeah.
bidder?
I mean,
Okay,
it possibly could.
okay.
Yeah, correct? Am I wrong?
I guess.
I can't answer that till you share a little more.
Right now, we use that gymnasium for student athletes, elementary, junior high. And by chance, I happened to get into the school Thursday when they were looking at it, the abatement crew, to set it up. And I asked them if it's possible to use the gym. They said, yes, it is possible. And I said, are you 100% sure? And they said, yes, we can still use the gymnasium. My question is to the board, sure. That hallway and let them do what they need to do. We still have to the bathrooms in the gymnasium for our students. It's just something that by chance I just have to walk in and ask. They say yes. Anything for the education. So I would like to do that. So that would be part of the second half of the asbestos abatement. They continue to do whatever they need to do.
I guess personally, I think you can incorporate whoever's using it. You know, if the reasonable cost minimum, in order to make fire code regulations compliant. I guess this is really good for it, minimize the amount associated with it. It does not have to be down the entire time as I described. They can start at a different portion of the building in order to still get this work completed. Yeah, I personally don't have any problem with using the spaces so long as they can.
And they felt like they would be able to make that work.
Does anyone feel like we need to not have our meeting, proposed for Monday? Because of this, I guess, I think you can incorporate both that and choosing a contractor.
I think we still meet Monday, choose the contractor, and like you guys are saying, we can define with that contractor, okay, I want this
Right.
done last, so I have access to all this.
Shoot for this date right here before you get to that area, if possible.
And if they could do just that area in a day, we'd ask them to control that to a time we didn't have gym usage, knock it out, and give it back.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that. For any
So
reason
with that being said, it sounds like we're a go for Monday at 5 PM for a special
Does
meeting.
that work for everybody?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
5? Okay.
And
So, go ahead, Chris.
no, I
Sorry,
was just
Brad.
gonna make a motion to, I'll move to approve the disposal of obsolete equipment.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion made by Chris, seconded by Mike to approve the disposal. Is it relocation too, or just disposal that you want, Joe?
Really, I just need the board to help approve the disposal,
Disposal of
whether that's
obsolete
auction or we have someone come in and salvage it out.
of obsolete equipment in the Pomeroy building. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
No, I was just, I guess with this asbestos abatement, why is it so important to this board to have this done in the middle of winter? I guess that's my question. When things can happen and you shut down the water for 30 days, or the heat for 3 days in the middle of winter, why is it so important?
You're gonna
get
have to
this
have
done
heat.
right away.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a misunderstanding.
No,
here that
I
I'm not
understand the
explaining.
heat, but what happens in January? I mean, is it heated after the asbestos abatement? I asked.
I guess it depends on whether you want me to answer that question or not.
Yeah,
Okay, the motion I believe that you made was for the process to begin, that included the abatement, not to put more money into that facility, which
that
included the
was
heat.
approved by this
Yeah,
board.
that was,
Yes,
Correct.
that
is
was mine.
correct.
So that's
But
what
now
we're
we
still
put
operating
money
on.
into it already. So why is it important to this board to do this in the middle of winter when we continue to use this gym?
I guess my thinking is we have a plan in motion, we have bids. We're gonna have to act on the bids, otherwise they're gonna have to come back and give us new ones.
I would add to that from my side, this actually helps us with any proposals that the city of Pomeroy is doing, any efforts they're gonna get for their RFP to save the building. Having the asbestos done and that cost taken off the table will make those investors look at that more favorably. I'm confident.
And if we don't spend any more money in January on heating this place and pipes break and so on and so forth, that doesn't help the city of Pomeroy whatsoever.
Well, and I would go back to,
Possibly try to do something.
I would go back to this, that, I mean, we're not obligated to do something for the city of Pomeroy.
No,
But obviously, we would like to,
good faith. we
You know,
probably should. Yeah.
as we can, and we're obligated to do things that are in the best interest of the taxpayer. If that means finding an alternative use for the building and saving some demolition costs, I think that's a good thing. But I don't see the reason for holding up on the abatement. Personally, I don't, anyone else?
No, I would.
My
The board
concern
can
is
revisit
after
the
this-
heating in
yeah.
January. That option, we'll have some RFP feedback from their loops and what potential's out there. That question can be revisited. As of now, the board has voted on it, that decision is in
Sure,
place.
understood.
And it doesn't hurt us in the next steps we're taking. It wouldn't.
I don't see that it hurts the city of Pomeroy either. It makes it a more marketable building.
I just don't want pipes to freeze before something can be done.
Well, if we shut the heat off, you drain the pipes.
Yep.
I mean, you, the
That's
system's
a
gonna
lot.
have to drain. You can't shut it off.
You're gonna spend.
You can't shut it off cold without shutting the water off.
Yeah.
And that's actually part of what the RFP that Pomeroy is working on. Some of the alternatives would be isolating part of the building, putting heat into a different part of the building. We could keep the pipes from freezing, but could we protect the gym floors? Those questions will come back before us with the RFP from Pomeroy, an advanced status with the asbestos removed. We don't lose access in the meantime. All avenues are still open. I really appreciate through the asbestos removal process, we have protected it from anything that would make the building unusable going forward.
Correct.
Exactly.
Does that help somewhat, Dustin? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just wait. Yeah, thank you. We'll just wait.
All right, so moving forward, personnel. As amended, we have a resignation from Bill Meacham, head baseball coach. Motion to approve.
I'll move to approve with appreciation.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Chris, seconded by Jolene to approve the resignation of Bill Meacham, head baseball coach, with appreciation of his service to the district. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Under contracts, we have Grant Hoffman, head girls track coach. Leon Johnson, middle school girls basketball coach. Dominic Schnell, middle school wrestling. Shelby McLean, bus driver. Is that a route driver? Or a sub, or, you know?
Is Shelby McLean, is he a route driver or? So,
Essentially a route driver, full-time driver.
Okay. Kenny Helsrud, middle school ELA, and then the sixth one that we added is Cheyenne Garcia Jarez, elementary teacher for, and again, this would be, to make it clear, 2024-25 school year.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Nick, seconded by Jolene, to approve the contracts as read. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then we have a volunteer coach, Dave Dutcher. Many of us know him. Jolene probably knows him better than we do.
Here's your chance to vote no.
And he would be volunteering for the girls' basketball program.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Chris, seconded by Tony, to approve Dave Dutcher as volunteer coach for girls' basketball. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Superintendent's update.
Shared some of this, but this is just more for the group. The organizational meeting would be held at the December board meeting. We'll have all of the election results certified by that time through this two-stage process. We have ISB convention, November 15th through the 17th at the Iowa Events Center. So I thank those of you who have chosen to go, and I believe we have at least one of our new board members coming on board again, who's also said they would make that short notice. And I realize it is short notice to fit into schedules. I will post an agenda. We'll be staying at the, Karen, help me out. I just drew a blank. Drury Inn. Thank you for that process. We've got some people going down on the 15th. The board that's going down will be there for the 16th. And we have a session on the 17th that a couple of us will also be attending. So it is a good opportunity for the board to do their own professional development by our state association, Iowa School Board Association. 5-year budget is in the process of being updated. We're continuing, as we did last year, to work through Larry Siegel's group. Those input of new numbers have already been put into the system. We're now finalizing some of the last details, estimating expenditures so that we can try to narrow that down. I'm going to try to bring Larry into the December board meeting to at least present those preliminary 5-year projections for you so that you have kind of an idea of the path that we're headed toward, so that there are no surprises, so that we have time to make some plans ahead of time if necessary. We'll have a special board meeting Monday. We'll have that one item on the agenda, so.
Central office.
I think it would accommodate.
It's only one agenda.
Okay. We'll do that. That's all I've got.
And next regular meeting, December the 11th, 7 PM here. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Mike, seconded by Chris to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you all.
And could I have just the collective bargaining committee, and spare me a minute or two? We'll go back into that classroom again so that I can
Give me 1 minute.
Yep. Just share a couple pieces, get some input.
Yeah.
Say, Mike.
If I did it.